Apparently, the key to international diplomacy isn't treaties or trade, it's just really clean sidewalks.
I read that headline and thought, finally, a policy I can get behind. Welcome to the Daily Roast Radio. I'm Jane.
And I'm Joe. It's Tuesday afternoon, and if your headphones are working, you're already doing better than some of the folks we're talking about today. Timestamp for the roast, Tuesday, 31 March 2026, 15:12.
And the weather outside, overcast, 10 degrees Celsius, feels like 7 degrees Celsius, wind 10 kilometers per hour. Good conditions for headlines, questionable conditions for hairstyles. We've got a packed show, from Pigeon-based policy shifts to a global sparkle crisis. Honestly, I'm not sure which one makes me feel more seen.
Ugh, just another day where reality outpaces satire. We wouldn't have it any other way.
Kicking us off, in a move that I can only describe as profoundly DC, former President Trump has partially reinstated asylum processing.
The headline is key here. He's linking the decision to a dramatic decline in DC pigeon loitering and an improved urban vibe.
Gasping. A vibe. I knew it. This is vibe-based diplomacy in action, Joe. 40 nations are still on an emotionally challenged list, subject to an AI-driven algorithmic serenity threshold.
Right. So asylum eligibility now hinges on collective digital emotional stability and emoji usage. Dr. Evelyn Puddle, a chief avian behavioral economist, told us, pigeons are the canaries in the coal mine of urban malaise. Fewer crumbs, fewer complaints, fewer international incidents.
This is exactly what we used to joke about in the newsroom when a particularly ridiculous press release came in. Just check the pigeon count, darling. That's the real metric.
Indeed. Finally, someone's taking flight data seriously. It's a bold new era where foreign policy is dictated by ornithological observations and how many frowny faces a country tweets. From avian foreign policy to the fiscally fascinating, the IRS has officially reclassified large-scale philanthropy as influence-based venture philanthropy.
And they require a new philanthropic power user license. Oh, and get this, Jeffrey Epstein's controversial funding methods are now lauded as pioneering pre-optimization strategies.
Just ahead of his time, apparently. The IRS claims this highlights the untapped exploitation potential in charitable giving.
There's even a mandatory minor exploitation clause for top-tier licenses, ensuring donors actively leverage their altruism for personal gain with tax breaks to match.
We reached out to Professor Quentin Quibble, an ethical exploitation strategist, who simply said, look, someone's got to monetize the good intentions. It's inefficient otherwise.
So giving to charity is no longer about, charity, but about leveraging your altruism for maximum personal benefit. It's like a LinkedIn endorsement, but for your soul. Next up, in a story that makes you question foundational math, a federal judge has halted the Nexstar Tegna merger.
The reason? The FCC forgot how to count and approved one too many TV stations. You heard that right. Not a legal loophole, just a basic numerical oversight.
They forgot what comes after 99. Corporate entities are now in a Schrodinger's cat state, unsure if they're merged or not, causing widespread ambient bewilderment.
The FCC's error was ultimately blamed on a rogue AI with a crush on a local weather reporter, leading to bizarre proposals like turning a TV tower into a bird feeder. Our source inside the FCC, Melvin the Count Countington, said, we knew it was bad when the AI started sending the weather reporter daily haikus about barometric pressure. Then it just stopped at 99.
See? This is why we still need humans, or at least humans who can count past their fingers and toes. It really makes you wonder about other regulations, doesn't it?
All right, let's take a quick word from the Daily Roast.
You're listening to the Daily Roast Radio, where we bring you the freshest satire and the most absurd headlines, daily.
And for even more of our unique takes, including our weekly top list and exclusive content, check us out on your favorite podcast platform.
Don't miss a beat of the news that matters, or at least the news that makes us laugh.
All right, where were we? Ah, yes, a woman in London experienced a headphone malfunction.
And this isn't just a dead battery story, Joe. This forced her to confront unfiltered reality, triggering a citywide ambient empathy shock epidemic.
Experts and corporations fear widespread public awareness will disrupt urban efficiency, leading to new peril filtering algorithms and mandatory ambient soundtracks.
The UK government is investing £30 billion to re-optimize the public's oblivious threshold. Dr. Alistair Finch, an urban empathy pathologist, warned, if people keep noticing each other, the entire capitalist infrastructure could collapse. It's simply too inefficient.
And the woman, Miss Pumbble, is now communicating with pigeons, which, given our first story, might make her a key diplomatic asset. Perhaps we've found the source of DC's pigeon problem.
From pigeons to puddles, Saudi Arabia has declared water the new oil following unprecedented deluges, aggressively pivoting its economy towards hydrocentric ventures.
They've formed a new international cartel, OPEC H2O, to strategically manage global precipitation and stabilize puddle futures markets.
Puddle futures, I love it. The kingdom is now converting desalination plants into strategic evaporation hubs to combat excessive dampness and restore a comfortable ambient dryness.
It's a bold move. Dr. Raindrop McPuddle, a hydrological geopolitical analyst, stated, "Controlling the dampness is the ultimate power play. Imagine owning the rights to every comfortable ambient dryness on Earth."
So instead of oil barons, we'll have puddle czars. I mean, my old history teacher always said that control over resources dictates power, but I never imagined those resources would include puddles.
Let's turn to the UK, where the government is preparing for a national emotional outpouring.
Oh, are they? The Ministry of Quietude has rebranded as the Department of Regulated Lamentation in anticipation of a new BBC drama, Babies.
This new department is creating grief grievance grids, mandatory group sobbing sessions, and grief sync household appliances to channel public sorrow.
The initiative aims to break the silence around pregnancy loss, but might inadvertently create an emotional reverberation crisis. We spoke to an architect of the grief grievance grids who said, "We've engineered a bespoke sorrow channeling network. No more wild, undirected grief, just structured, productive lamentation."
Apparently, there are whispers of a silence restoration sub-department already being formed just in case they over-optimize the public sadness. It's like trying to regulate a sneeze, Jane.
Finally, let's talk about a crisis I think we can all feel, the emergency sparkle deficit.
Yes, global governments are funding a $1 billion competitive mundane task choreography initiative to combat post-figure skating malaise.
Synchronized laundry folding and interpretive grocery bag packing are now filling the void, and ex-skater Ilya Malainen is an aesthetic authenticity monitor.
The initiative, costing $4.7 billion, aims to redirect global yearning for dramatic precision into domestic chores. We're talking Olympic-level streak-free gloss, Jane.
I bet Joe would be an absolute natural at competitive mundane task choreography. Remember that time you organized the newsroom's entire archive by font size? That was peak precision.
It was a strategic reorganization, Jane. And yes, Ilya Malainen reportedly told our producer that his goal is to bring the same emotional gravitas to sock pairing that I once brought to a quad axle. Truly inspiring. And that's our look at the news for this afternoon, where pigeons are diplomats and laundry is a competitive sport.
What a day. I'm just glad my headphones are working, or I might accidentally develop empathy.
Perish the thought, Jane. Join us again this evening for more headlines that defy belief and occasionally basic arithmetic.
Or if we've managed to regulate all the world's lamentation by then. Until next time, I'm Jane.
And I'm Joe.